well, that's a fun sound. You know, when you hear that, that you're in for a fun time because everyone's nailing their audio cues, and it's time for another week of the RecPoker podcast. I'm Jim Reed. I'm sitting in for Steve Fredland this week. This is the Chats edition of the podcast. And I want to start just by thanking our wonderful sponsors, website AMP and Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino. So I am just one of many of RecPoker Nation. They just give me the mic to start these things off. But the rest of the panel, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
So I'm Chris Jones. I'm 5x5 on PokerStars and Twitter, and I'm thinking this week is going to be my first return to live poker. So I'm looking forward to that.
Nice.
And I am John Somsky. I am Poker Geek MN everywhere, and I actually just played my second live poker session in over a year yesterday.
I'm Rob Washam, and I'm Rabman50 everywhere. And I have a quote from the famous Tommy Angelo, who says, "No one is tiltless," which means everyone can tilt less.
And I'm Bluff Storini in the home games. And if you want to find out about me and other members of the Wrecking Crew like these geniuses, you can go to rec.poker/crew to find out about them. But I am so pleased to be here to introduce the one and only Samuel Simoes from Brazil, who is here to talk about his wonderful invention, PokerNow. Samuel, where are you calling from today? And how are you? And let everyone know a little bit about yourself and where people can find you.
Hi, Jim. Yeah, thank you. Thank you all for having me. I am talking from Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and I created PokerNow, as you already mentioned it. And yeah, I think we can have a wonderful conversation about this project. There is a lot of interesting stuff about a poker app that we can talk. And it's my pleasure to be here. And I think we're gonna have a wonderful conversation.
I agree. One of the things that I'm so excited about talking to Samuel about is the way that we've decided to incorporate this fantastic platform of his into our learning here at RecPoker, because all we do is learning and community together. And this is one of those great exemplars for that kind of thing out there in the poker world. So I know Chris Jones, who's our membership content director, has really kind of put this package together that we're working with. So Chris, maybe you can talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, no, I want to get to Samuel's story, but we're using this tool now to do these monthly play and learn seminars where basically we're getting a group of people together. We're going to have people commentating on their play, but we can see all the whole cards, but they can't see each other's cards. So they're playing normal Ring of Poker, and we're able to see everybody's cards in live action, comment on it, record it, and then distribute it to everyone who played in the session. And I think it's just a fantastic learning tool. And I've seen nothing like it out there, so I'm really excited about it. But Samuel, I wonder if you can talk about I've read a little bit about your story, but I wonder if you can talk about how PokerNow came to be. Like, walk us back to you kind of coming up with this idea and starting it. How did the whole thing kind of come about?
Sure. Yeah, I started some years ago. I was, I think, 3 years. Now we're gonna be almost 4 years ago. I was trying a way to play with my friends that would be play poker, of course, in a easy way, because I was trying to because my friends were trying to play on our cell phones. So the current applications that we were finding, or they maybe not allow us to play in a private game, or they don't play us to have to set up the game in a way that we like it. So I thought that I could create something that could be quickly to start a game, something that could be easy to set up a game, to define the rules and send a link to your friend and start to play, because I was really missing something like this back some years ago. So this was the main reason that I created PokerNow, to have something to play poker quickly, and that would be something lightweight too, because there is the time existed some other applications, but they was using flash and other technologies that wasn't great when playing on your phone. So I thought that would be a good a great product to start. So I created, this was the main reason that I created Poker Now.
And so did you had some, I mean, you must have had some sort of technical background. How did, I mean, or did you learn all this as you're building it, or how did you come to be able to have the skills to build this whole thing?
Okay. Yeah, I am a professional programmer. There
Mm.
is, I think that it will complete 10 years, 11 years. I am very bad with dates, but I am a professional software developer. There is a long time. So I have the knowledge to create something like this. So uh, because I was doing a lot of other stuff, not necessarily game stuff, but I was doing another web applications for health units here in Brazil, and all sort of these stuffs for for different kind of business here in Brazil. So I in this job, in these previous jobs, I was getting the knowledge to create something like Poker Now. So uh, this was basically the way that I got this knowledge to create this.
And for those of you who haven't seen it, it functions, you know, it's not just like going on to a site where you start a private game on an online site. Like, you can see and talk to every single player at the table. They can react to it. There's spectators who can watch from the side. Everybody is linked by video and audio. And and tell me about that piece of it, because I think that was, and I want to get into sort of what happened in sort of the global moment when like the pandemic hit. But like, tell me about your thinking and your vision behind that. You know, not just creating a platform where you can play poker, but a platform where you can see and interact with each other while you play.
Yeah. This was, to be honest, the Poker Now was the product that I wanted. So this was the major thing uh, that makes poker now what it is today. So I tried to create something that could be easy to start a game, to play your friend and see your friend, and that there is no too much barriers to get your game running. So in that can you get your group of friends together to start to play, to get a game. So this, my vision for Poker Now is to create something super easy to play poker. So when I started, it was my side project. I was working on this along my main job, but a lot of people start to like this, start to play games there. Today Poker Now has a great audience, so today I'm totally focused on Poker Now to
Mhm.
make it great, to improve the game, to improve the application.
And I guess let's talk about that audience. You saw kind of an amazing growth during a time. I mean, the whole world kind of shut down, and you saw. I mean, growth. I saw it sort of posted. I think Joey Ingram posted about it. A number of other people were saying this is a great place, an application. And you saw. Tell me about that period of time, and like what that was like for you. Was it stressful? Was it exciting? And how you dealt with that sort of growth that kept happening.
Yeah, you're right. When the pandemic, or before the pandemic situation, Poker Now was mainly not receiving a a small number of people, of players, because the only marketing that I did for Poker Now was post on Reddit and share with some friends, and it was in a very slow growth. So when the pandemic situation uh, got worse, a lot of people was in your house searching a way to play poker with their friends in an easy way, because in that time you had applications that allow you to play home game, but you need to download a client, and all this process that make the things pretty slow. So people start to search application like this, and I was kind of lucky that PokerNow was the word, that the correct application for the correct time.
Yeah.
So a lot of so it when one person start to play on poker now, this person tell to other people, tell to the friends, tell the family, and other people start a lot of people start to know poker now and play on poker now. So this was a very stressful moment, because I never had uh, managed an application that received thousands of concurrent people at the same time, and I never had developed a game before. PokerNow was my first game. A lot of people think that I am a game developer, but I am not a game developer. So this was my first time dealing with all this that madness, because a lot of people come in, and week by week, then the growth would was something that I could predict where it would reach. So I was working it, and it was a very stressful moment, because I need to manage all that situation. But fortunately, I managed the situation, and I I could keep the application running smoothly. Not exactly smoothly in that time, but now it's good. It's run good, and
Yeah.
now the situation is way more calm than it was before.
Right, right. But I mean, I think there's, there's people who've turned their home games into this. There's people like us who are using it for learning. There's a lot of different applications. Some people are just kind of having some chats with friends while they kind of casually play poker, and there's sort of different levels of going on. But I think one of the things you wrote a post, which I thought was really interesting, that the biggest complaint you get, and I think this is true not just of your site but of any online poker site, is that, well, yeah, but it's rigged, right? You're trying to set it up so that all the it's quads versus full houses, it's set over set, you're just setting up all this drama, it's all rigged, right? And so, like, I think you wrote about how there's a lot of thinking out there that online poker is rigged, but you actually go to a lot of trouble to make sure that it's not. And I'm wondering if you can talk about that sort of that myth and the reality of what that's like for a developer in terms of a site like this.
Yeah, this is interesting subjects for sure. People think that a poker now will gain to forcing some outcome, but this is not sure. This is not sure, and I think this is not sure for any platform out there. And I am not here to be the lawyer, to defend all the other platforms, but if you there is a very specific thing that people need to understand, that poker respect the statistics. So when you play, you play a certain quantity of your hand, you see a pattern, and this pattern will repeat. And this makes great poker players. They understand the statistics in the longer run. So if you want to if you want to check if a platform is rigged or not, you can do this. You can do this in any platform basically. You just get a log and you pull. Of course, this could not be easy to do manually, but there's tools today that make easy you to do this. But you can grab the information, you can grab the statistics from your games and see if your games are respecting the expected statistics. So people already have a tool to understand if it's work or not. So poker now, of course, I will say that poker now is not rigged. It respects the statistic. People can. I make it sure that people understand this. I have some tools. I run some analysis for some people. For example, I even wrote a post because with the time I started to understand certain pattern that people, some pitfalls that people get trapped when they start to to check a result of the result of a game, for example. So they, for the quads, the flushes, the all this drama, you see a pattern of people in a thinking. For example, people try to understand the results of a game by their human feelings. For example,
Mhm.
I feel that there is too much quads in this game, but they don't do an analysis in the long run, and
Mhm.
this missing analysis in the long run is a common pitfall, for example.
Yeah, I think it's often pretty easy to blame a piece of software versus maybe some choices you personally made. So I think
Yeah,
that might be one of the things that comes up.
yeah. And
But
there
John, yeah, go ahead.
and and the variance is something important too that people need to understand. In poker, you lost, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's part of a game. That this is even an interesting thing that people need to understand. When you go, for example, on Twitch and you see on stream, you see people playing in multi tables because they want to lower the variance, play a lot of hands in the same time. Okay, I lost in this and this, but in this I won, and this I won, so it's okay. It's statistically okay for me.
Hmm. Hmm. John, did you have a question?
Yeah, I also am a computer programmer. So I have some questions that probably no one else or maybe one person listening to the podcast will care about.
Okay.
But what technology stack is this built on, and where or how is it hosted?
Okay. I will try to simplify the things, to not go too deep on this, but this is basically made with JavaScript. I use Node.js on the servers, and I use on the front end too with React.js. These both technologies are pretty common technologies in the software development scenario today, and it's basically this, and it's hosted on Amazon Web Service. Nothing too fancy. I use some of their services there, and I think the technology behind the poker now is this. Of course, they can go even deeper on this. We can, for example, talk about databases. We can talk about for containers, but I think I don't know if the
That
audience.
gives me a thing, and I mean, you and I could talk about it, but then the rest we'd put everyone else to sleep,
Yeah,
and that's
I th-
probably not a good conversation.
Yeah, I think we can exchange some emails about the details, because I like to I also like to talk about the technical aspects of poker now too. I really like I am I really like the software development. So this is a top, and this is a subject that I really like to talk about for sure.
And, you were a poker player obviously before you went to poker now, right? I mean, you must have had a strong an interest in the game. How did you come to be interested in the game itself?
And this is a moment very complex, because I wasn't a poker player before poker
Oh,
now. I started to play poker some months before you start the poker now development, because a friend of mine called me to play poker. They thought that I would like the game, so he invited me to play. We play some hands. We even have some sessions of a home game poker with their these friends, and I fell in love for the game. I fell
yeah.
in love. I really liked the game, and I started to study about. I started to understand the concepts, the strategies, and create a game, because with these friends we wanted to play online. So this was the reason that we make me to create poker now. That so I wasn't a poker player. In fact, when I started, when I the first versions of poker now, this even you could find even some wrong rules, for example. That was the way that I learned, you know. So the first versions of poker now, is pretty different of what it is today. To be honest, this version of poker now that is online has a lot of people that help me with pretty specific rules, because poker, when you play, can look simple, can you can think that it's simple some aspects, but when you start to get in some specific edge cases of poker, you need to do a lot of research to understand what happened when this situation, the dealer, the player is not that is sitting out. So all this these things make mm, the thing way more complex than it looks.
Yeah, that was one of the questions I had actually. Kim mentioned this in the chat earlier that it's currently set up as like for a cash game format. And one of the questions was just how much more complicated would it be to set it up for a tournament structure as opposed to, because we can go in right now and set like, okay, for this hand or for this series for this level. Yeah, can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, for currently, Poker Now is more suited for a cash game. You can play a tournament in a single table if you want. It's possible. You can set the blind schedule with a timer. But I am working on this feature for the multi-table. A multi-table tournament is a way more complex feature because you have this whole orchestration between the tables. So I'm working on this feature, and there is a huge pressure for this feature, to be honest. But I'm
Yeah.
working. But since I am working mm, not alone, but almost alone on this project. I have limited resources to go through. So I am working, but to be honest, I prefer this way because I think this is the most sustainable way. I could, for example, get an investment or something like this, but this would force me to do things that in this moment I don't want to do this. For example, no investor in the world will accept you let people play, not see a ad, not give you an email, not download an application. So right now I am working this way because this makes possible to keep poker now in the way that it is today.
Yeah, that strikes a chord with us, I know, because a lot of Rec Poker is free. A lot of the work that we do, most of the work is done by volunteers, people that are passionate about what we're doing here. And, like we want this to be something that's accessible to everybody, that everyone can come and join. And that means that, some things have to happen a little slowly because, we're doing it all with the love of the group. Um, and yeah, and actually, that's a good point. I should point out to listeners that there is a tournament setting for the one table, which we were using as well, which is a lot of fun. I like that.
Yeah, and I just wanted to just like in case that didn't come clear, I want to emphasize that you can sign up for this. You don't have to give your email, you don't have to give a password. You can if you want, you can set up an account. You don't have to pay anything. It's great if you donate a little, right? But I mean, this is an amazing resource that you've built that has sort of now global adoption and it's entirely free. Like wow, wow. I mean,
Yeah.
how, have you seen people start to contribute and start to donate? I mean, there is a little spot on it that asks people to sort of chip in if they really like the tool. Have you seen that start to support the tool a little?
Yeah, currently there's a good number of people that donate to Poker Now that make possible to keep it running. So, for example, it's allowed me to be mainly focused on this currently. Of course, the money that come from donations, there is not a money that will make me rich, but I have some other plans to monetize Poker Now in not a intrusive way. So I have some other plans, but I am not thinking too much on these right now because I'm trying to keep focus on the development the core features. After the core
Mhm.
features, I will start to think. But right now I am in a in a good situation, I could
Mhm.
say, that to keep the project running, to keep it running, and with the audience. I already did it in the past. I introduced some sponsorship and some other kind of deals that help to keep the project strong. But right now, my main focus is to keep it cheap to run, chips to run in the servers, the value, the costs, and I will I will see what I can do to improve the monetization in future.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
right now, it's okay.
So what is the, I mean, what is the future? I mean, it sounds like you're maybe trying to work on that multi-table aspect. That's, I mean, I know that's super complicated. You got to figure out shuffling people around, but what else? I mean, what other things are you kind of like, or is that the big next step for Poker Now?
It's a good question. They're definitely a good question. To be honest, I am not I don't make it longer plans. You know, I
Mhm.
am not this people. I prefer to do short iterations
Yeah.
and see where is the best, what is the best path. Of course, I want the poker now to be successful. I want the poker now to be even bigger. I want poker now sponsor a huge tournament somewhere. I want this. But I am by but I am doing I prefer to do this in short iterations, and I prefer to do this in a sustainable way. I don't want to be honest, I prefer poker now to have a slow growth. It's
Mhm.
already big, but at the current point, I prefer to have a slow growth, but it's sustainable. Then we start to receive a massive amount of money, and we I need to start to think how I can to make this gigantic. I don't I don't like this kind of way to keep a project, because I think this in some point it make it hurt the product, you
Mhm.
know, the because the people or the investors put money, and then they want their money back, and not the money that they put, but they want more. So this need you need to push the application, need to put the boundaries, uh and I don't like too much. Of course, this works for a lot of application. We at this moment are talking through application that growth this way, this Zoom application. But I think we can do differently.
Hmm. 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 So if people are kind of listening to this and they're kind of wondering about how they can find it or how they can get in touch with you to ask you some things like that, what are some ways they can kind of get in touch?
Uh, Currently, I think the easiest way to get in touch is send a direct message through Twitter. My Twitter is Samuel _Simoes. So yeah, I think, or the missing. I think that it's not underscore. I forgot my Twitch username. What a shame.
We'll send you a tweet when this podcast goes live,
Yeah.
Sam, and you can folks
Uh,
can check that out.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is the easiest way to reach me. You can send a message. My direct message is always open. It's not easy to answer. It's not easy to answer everyone, because even in this last weeks, I am trying to focus to get the multi-table tournament feature done. So if you send me a message, probably it will take it will take time to for answer answer you. But I think the people can I will try to find some time to answer.
Well, it's one of those things when it's a labor of love, sir. You're just it's you answering all that stuff yourself. Like we know what that's like here, and it's part of what makes it so wonderful and authentic, and that's why it feels so fun and real. And yeah, our hats off to you for this contribution that you're putting. So everyone, if you're listening to this, go to Poker Now, try out a game, tip the dealer when you're there, tell your friends to have fun with it. We had a great time just socializing. As Chris was saying, like we had sort of a learning mandate with it, but we were having a good time just chatting and hanging out and playing poker. I know, no
Yeah,
shocker.
there were moments when it was happening where I was like, you guys are having, you're laughing too much. We got to get down to business here. But no, people were having so much fun. It was a treat to watch, actually.
Well, thanks, Sam, and I really do appreciate you joining us. And I know we haven't seen the last of you, so I'll let you know when this podcast comes out. Should be on Tuesday next week, and we'll get that Twitter handle in the show notes. And I just can't thank you enough for sharing your time and your story with us.
Nice. Thank you for having me. It was a wonderful conversation, and I hope everyone everyone play some hands on PokerNow. And if you have some feedback, please send me on my Twitter, or on the PokerNow Twitter. On the PokerNow home landing page, you find the contact, you find our email too. So I hope you have fun, and I hope you like the PokerNow history too. And it's this. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to play a quick word from our friend Jonathan Little, and then we'll all come back together and talk about some community events. But it was a pleasure having you on, Samuel, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Have you ever wondered whether you should call a preflop raise or 3-bet instead? What do you do when you have a flush draw? Do you raise it or do you just call? What do you do with ace king when you miss the flop? Are you tired of guessing about what the right play is with your particular hand? Well, my name is Jonathan Little, and I am a 2-time World Poker Tour champion and creator of PokerCoaching.com, where we offer over 1,000 interactive hand quizzes where you play a hand and then get real-time feedback from our world-class pros. Don't guess and don't stress. Just register for your free account at PokerCoaching.com/RecPoker right now.
Well, I hope no one was stressing. I hope no one was sweating. I hope they were just listening to Jonathan Little, because he's telling you about how you can get better at poker by going to PokerCoaching.com. I want to just talk about how much fun that was having Samuel on the show here. He's such an interesting character. He's got such a passion for the poker community. It's always a pleasure to share people's voices like that.
And I honestly, like, I it's such a good tool, and it's such I like I mean it's free, and it's like this really interactive thing that I have not seen anywhere else. And I am really, really excited. I think we've just tapped the surface of the learning potential of this. And we're kind of figuring out that piece of it, and I think it's just going to get better and better for us. So I'm just so excited and grateful that this tool is out there in the world.
And when we started Rec Poker, I had thought about building something like this myself, but I wasn't even thinking about adding the chat aspects up to it. I was just thinking about being able to pause hands, being able to use a tool to be able to play and review the play kind of in a real time type of scenario. So I am really glad he did it, so I don't need to worry about trying to think about that.
Yeah, we've got other things in mind for that big beautiful brain of yours, John Somsky. I don't think that would have worked out. Well, speaking of which, speaking of John Somsky's big beautiful brain, why don't you lead us right into some home game results, and then we can talk about what else is going on in Community Town.
All right. Well, before we even start, I want to make sure that I get this announcement out again. We did announce it before, but our Heads Up event is going to be coming. It's going to be on June 19th at 1 p.m. Central Time. So there is no late registration for this. It's a shootout style format. If you want to play, make sure you are registered by 1 p.m. You can register up to 2 weeks in advance, I believe. So starting June 5th, you can sign up for it. It may take a while to play depending upon how many people we get. We're kind of using this as a learning experience. You are going to need to spend some time waiting because it's a shootout format. So if your match ends before all of the other matches, you're just going to have to wait. If your match is still going, then you won't even notice. Everyone will be waiting on you. So we are looking forward to that. All right, then for the nightly events, starting on May 24th, Bloop 7, Mark Bloomberg got his third nightly victory of the year.
Nice.
Digging 8 Graves, who I don't know who he or her is, got
that's a full ring table, just so we're clear. That's one person digging and 8 graves. So I don't know what happened there, but something went down.
Yep. So that was the first nightly victory. Michael Babker got his second nightly for the year.
Nice.
Carl 0621, third nightly for the year.
There we go.
And Keck Geek, this is Keck Geek Senior, Mark Kiki got his third nightly victory of the year.
Well, look at all these friendly faces. This is great.
And then Iceberg King John Scare got his first nightly victory for the year. And then for mixed events, Don't Chase 666 Joseph Armstrong won the mixed event that would have been in Badoogie. Rocket Poker or Rocket Box Poker Woody Adams got
Woody
his
Adams.
second international victory.
He's playing from the nation of Pennsylvania. That's the international flavor that he's bringing these days.
Exactly. Then Keck Geek 65 Keck Geek Jr. Jacob Kiki didn't want to be left out, so he won an international event. And then came right back and won LPP
Next
Sunday
day.
as
Wow.
well the very next day.
Wow. Holy cow. The guy's a killer.
And which one of the kick? I can't remember. Was it the senior or junior who set the goal for the year?
I believe it was Junior.
It was Junior.
It was
And he's
Junior.
serious. I saw him in the online play and hang on Tuesday night this week because I'm in that every week now. Y'all are going to get so sick of me in that online play and hang on Tuesday night. Everyone come join me. It's so much fun to play and hang out as we're doing. And he's had some Tuesday night OPA run good too. I think I would call it a sleeper, but he just blew it out of the water last year anyway. So it's more like, let's just sit back and watch the kid work. I can't wait.
That's all the events I have.
All right. Well, we're by the time we hear this, it'll be June, so we'll be about halfway through the year. We'll be about 6 Tournament of Champions down with 6 to play. So it's not too late to get your seat in the end of the year finals and see about one of these days. Is this going to be the year we figure out how to give out a goals pin? We probably shouldn't even have this conversation without Steve in the room, but I'm looking forward to that. Or we should just like make it available to only people whose names aren't Steve. Quorum?
Well,
Do we have
that would
quorum?
work.
Do we have quorum for a meeting here?
Yeah.
Yes.
No Steve. Well, there are some other Steves that I like, so maybe no Steve Fredlins
Yeah,
can win
yeah,
it.
for
you know,
sure.
man.
For sure.
Yep.
No, actually, I have some ideas for the gold pin, so we'll have to see if that ranks for it, or if we need something even more special.
I think even more special. I'll be honest with you. Like the gold pin, it should be really rarefied air. And we'll just see. We'll just see.
Well, thus
All
far,
right.
no one has one, so it
Yeah.
doesn't get any more
We've
rarefied
never given
than
one
that.
away. That's pretty rarefied.
Yes. Okay, so maybe we don't want to keep it that rarefied.
Yeah.
But very, very special, as Kim says. That's right.
Well-
Very, very special.
We're going to maintain our diamond platinum bejeweled ruby pin. And that one is super special.
That one is super.
And actually, what you need to earn that is like secret. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
not
Well,
even
I don't-
we know what it
No,
takes.
there's
to
a
win
blood
that.
ceremony.
I don't think that one even exists yet. So that's how rarefied that one is.
I think you got to win every home game for the entire year.
Oh yeah.
Run the table for the entire year. Then you
Oh,
get the
Yeah.
diamond encrusted pin.
I'll commit to that right now. If anyone- I'll buy you that pin if anyone wins every home game that we do in a year.
Wait.
Okay.
Assuming our same or a similar schedule to
That's
what we
right. At
have
the
now.
current rate of 10 per week.
Right.
Yeah.
If we
So-
get down to like, let's say it was just a
That's
mixed
a good
series,
point,
I
John.
wouldn't trust
Yeah.
Patrick not
That's
to
right.
win all of them.
That's a
Check
good
the
point.
audio. Check the
Asterisk.
audio. It's like, yeah,
Asterisk.
asterisk for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Terms and conditions may apply. Terms and conditions may apply. All right, and so that's home games. I know there's more exciting stuff happening in the home games department every month. We talked about seminars and how premium members can now join us every month for the creation of these. And if you're a premium member, you can go to rec.poker/forums and you'll see a sign up sheet. There's a sign up post, a thread in there right now for June where you can add your name to the list. And if you don't make the list in June, we're just going to put you right at the top of the list in July. So we're going to be looking for 8 to 10 premium members every month to take advantage of this, which should mean that people get to kind of cycle through a few times. And
Yeah,
it'll
and
be a lot of fun.
The next, I think what we're going to try to do, at least initially with this, is go through stages of the tournament and do one per session. So we're going to start off with very early stages, not necessarily like the first level, but sort of early stages of the tournament. We'll all be fairly deep stacked, but we'll shuffle up the stacks. This time I'm going to actually just have people pick seats and already have pre-assigned their chip stacks. So you can either pick the big stack or the short stack. It'll be
Nice.
based on what, random seat you pick, but it'll be fun.
Nice. And we might also be tweaking our plants a little bit as well. 'Cause
Yeah.
that was a fun layer that
Yeah.
I think people
Yeah.
really enjoyed as well. So that'll be sweet. Rob, I know we are scratching the surface of Michael Acevedo's Modern Poker Theory. I know we're getting together on the first and third Wednesday every month. What are we working on next?
Well, by the time you hear this, we will have done session 6, and we're going to be going through 6 max cash game equilibrium strategies. So that we're just going to peruse that probably just for the one session. If we really broke it down, we could probably do 4 or 5 sessions on that. But we'll just do we'll have gone through that one session. So I'm anticipating that when you hear this, the next one that you'll be able to get involved in would be June 16th, I believe, right?
Nailed it.
June 2nd is this Wednesday, but June 16th, the next one you'll be able to get involved with after hearing this. And that's the one we start getting into MTT strategies. So I think that's something that's near and dear to all of our hearts, most of our hearts here at RecPoker, because we are very much primarily a bunch of MTTers. So that's where we, the rubber is going to really meet the road there when we get into the tournament poker theory aspect of the Modern Poker Theory by Michael Acevedo. So that'll be session 7 on June 16th. And you can catch up by going to RecPoker, being a premium member. All of the previous sessions are there. They're recorded. We do a group session. So anybody that's a premium member that wants to join us can join us for that session. It's all recorded. All of our discussions, all of our rabbit holes are all recorded. And so you can catch up with where we're at. And we also have some slides and everything under the documents under the group in RecPoker, on the RecPoker website, under the group. So you can catch up, find out where we're at, and be ready to dig into MTT strategies on the 16th.
Nice. Yeah, Rob's been doing such a great job of uploading extra learning material to the forum in the group there, so people can go and look at the slides, they can look at PDFs, and other members are uploading sort of like charts and graphs and their own notes and stuff. So it's really been a great way to learn this stuff together, which is what we're all about. Well, I'll just leave you with rec.poker/road trips if anyone wants to get together and play some live cards at a RecPoker event. By the time you hear this, we'll just have wrapped up the Running Aces reunion, which is going to be a lot of fun. But there's one coming up June 20th to 27th in Iowa. Go to rec.poker/road trips and check out all the details there. You can win prizes, hang out with Steve and the gang. There's going to be a bunch of discounts on stuff. It's going to be just a great community event with a bunch of fun people to go play poker with. And I guess the last thing is I'd love to encourage people to go to rec.poker/support to find out ways to help people like us and Samuel, who are out there doing our best, trying to spread the word, share our love with the poker community for free. You can do it by rating a podcast, by liking things on social media, by subscribing to the YouTube channel, or of course, just by giving premium membership a try. Even if you don't have time to watch all the videos, and no one does, it's still a great way to just support us by saying thanks for $15 a month and to help us keep the lights on and to keep putting all this great stuff out there. So I don't know, folks, we're coming in at a pretty tight 45. Is there anything else we'd like to add before we coast on out of here? I don't see it. Well, then what can I say? I just got to thank Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack and Casino, website AMP, Steve Fredland, Sam, Rob, John, Chris. Thanks, team. See you soon.